Hello, and thank you for joining today's webinar, How to Use DevSuite 9.2 for Quality and Requirement Integrated Agile and Waterfall Development. My name is Renee Alanis. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager here at TechExcel. TechExcel is proud to host our 2013 webcast series. We hold informative webinars on various topics once a month throughout the year. So be sure to visit our website at techexcel.com for the current list of webinars. A little logistics for today. I do encourage all of you to use the question function. It's located in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Just type in your question, and we'll answer them at the end of today's discussion. Now I would like to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Tieren Zhou. He's the CEO and founder of TechExcel. Welcome, Tieren.
Thank you, Renee. So today, we not only will talk about the main topic on how to use DevSuite 9.2 on quality and requirement integrated agile and waterfall processes. I will also cover the 5 benefits of deploying DevSuite 9.2. Thank you all for joining. We tried hard to reach you because we believe DevSuite 9.2 really is a very significant release. First of all, after many years of working very, very consistently, trying hard, I think we delivered a very nice model of how to do hybrid agile, but put requirement and quality to be fully integrated with your agile processes. As a hybrid agile model, it really make the platform to be a solution not only for agile project, but also for non-agile project, like waterfall processes as well. And DevSuite multi-site was released as part of 8.7, I believe. So it has been released for more than 1.5 years now, and I think it's time to push for our customer to consider DevSuite multi-site. And then MyDevSuite is a new release for MyDevSuite because before MyDevSuite relies on an additional MyDevSuite server, which makes the deployment to be not easy. But now MyDevSuite does not rely on any other component except the DevSuite server. In other words, as soon as you install DevSuite 9.2, you're ready to run MyDevSuite on iPad, Android tablet, or Android-based phone, or really any desktop OS. We also introduced a new IdeaBook, which is allow you to do user guide and online help. We feel it's revolutionary new, and I will show you a little bit as well. And IdeaBook and Idea Player are really based on the same idea of if you check in a Word document, we will convert the Word document, analyze the contents of the Word document, convert the Word to be PDF or Flash, and allow you to view the Flash via a browser or via an iPad or Android tablet or Android-based phone. So as a result, Word document really can be used to manage your requirement much more effectively because now we can analyze the Word contents as well as the Word format, especially the outline sections of the Word document to be able to automatically populate requirement and specifications inside a Word document. So for the multi-site, it allows you to install multiple servers, multiple sites in the different countries or at different locations within the same country. Since each site has its own document server as well as database server, obviously you will be getting the performance from the local access performance. So the performance gain is really significant. When you have remote country teams like in China, Russia, India, we guarantee you will be super impressed for its performance gain. MyDevSuite support iPad, Android tablet, as well as Android phone. And it uses the same DevSuite server. It is now very easy to deploy and maintain. We implemented a smart session control for the data protection. So in the event of your personal devices like your iPad or tablet, Android tablet or phone get lost, the data will be actually protected within just a few minutes. As soon as you change the login and password, the MyDevSuite will stop working and will force you, the user, to re-log in. If they cannot re-log in and the logins get failed, then the data will be wiped out. So DevSuite would add in, it allows you to put tags such as requirement 1 by adding a special tag like spec 1, spec 2, and then it will analyze your tag and generate child requirement we call spec inside a Word document. You can also use just the standard format of the outline. So we will analyze the headings. So heading 5, for example, represent a new requirement, and heading 6 represent the description of the requirement, and heading 7 maybe represent another property of a requirement. Therefore, your existing Word document can be used to populate requirement in DevSuite for driving a requirement-driven development or quality management processes. As I mentioned earlier, and I think DevSuite 9.2 represent finally a well-done solution for making your agile process to be fully integrated with requirement and quality. And I think agile has become more and more popular as you start to practice agile process. Certainly you will see the productivity gain by having a simplified development process where development is organized into multiple sprints, and each sprint represents day 1 you commit a set of story and a task, and on every day you're doing a daily Scrum or daily Agile depending on your methods of Agile. And then every day you're having a working software releasable quality, and obviously you'll be driving hard to make sure at the end of your development sprint your working software is releasable. And hopefully your team works committed to finish all the spring backlog. Initially on the day 1 we committed such a spring backlog. However, as you practice Agile, really 2 areas you will certainly meet the challenges will be, number 1, is product backlog really the requirement? As the project becomes larger scale, do you need a requirement management system, and how do you integrate your requirement with your product backlog, with your Agile iteration-driven development? Number 2 is, how do you assure the quality of your sprint development? As how can you make sure every task, every story are finished with quality built in, and such quality process are repeatable and scalable? And I think DevSuite delivers a very sound solutions for these 2 areas of work. One is how to make requirement to be integrated with your product backlog, with your development. And 2 is how do you, as you develop the stories and the task, we introduced a concept called QA test event. It's a co-owner event owned by the joint QA members of a sprint team, as well as the owner of a programming task. So you have like a child subtask, as the QA testing, its purpose is to make sure related testing test cases are finalized, are created, and also tested to a certain degree so that the quality can indeed be claimed to be it's a built-in process of your agile development without losing the agile nature of your agile practice. And it's also fully integrated with regression testing, where releasing testing plan can be created, multiple testing cycle could be carried out, and the defect found can be submitted directly into the product backlog, and occasionally, as it starts the line, defect could be assigned to the current development sprint. And this is another picture showing you the hybrid agile model inside DevSuite, where requirements are managed via epic, document epic, spec as the normalized layer or the quantified requirement. Specs could be assigned to a development space, creating the stories, like spec 1 can be assigned to a development space, sprint 1, to create 2 implementation commitment. One is the implementing the support for the web user interface, maybe the story for the spec 1 copy 2 represent the implementation copy for the iPhone support or the iPad support. And each story could be driving one development task or multiple tasks. And under each development task, DevSuite allows you to create a QA test event. The QA test event serves the purpose of picking up the right test cases or develop the test cases by the joint QA members of an agile team or the programmer sometimes. In other words, you will encourage the programmers to be doing the quality testings based on defined test cases, and you certainly would encourage programmers and the QA floaters, the term we use to represent the QA members who join the agile team, to be the QA floaters, so that the development of implementation effort of a story done by multiple or one development task actually include the QA testing effort. And the QA testing effort serves the purpose of defining, creating, and refinalizing the test cases. And so make sure as you finish the sprint, the test cases are tested and the test cases are fully defined. Obviously, when you specify the requirement, you can also encourage your QA team or even the product owners to start define the test cases. As such test cases become a finalized or developed test library, and such test library could be used for the QA testing team to test the finished product. In other words, the working software from the multiple finished sprint really can be tested with multiple testing cycles, and as you perform the testing, defect could be submitted into the product backlog, and occasionally you might want to submit the defect directly to your development sprint. So this picture shows really how do you assure the quality. Well, you assure the quality by making sure each development task is serving the purpose of finishing implementing a development story, fulfilling the requirement defined by the spec, linked with Word document or linked with design document or linked with Epic document, but also using the QA test event, you are making sure development tasks for every one of them are fully tested via defined test cases. And such developed test cases could be used to further perform by the QA team to do auto testing or regression testing. Obviously, within a developed sprint, you might also perform auto testings as well. So how a QA test event work? This one shows you a development task 73, and you have spent 5 hours, you have 3 hours remaining to finish the development task by the programmer. However, you can, using the QA testing event, to link the two test cases defined, because the task 73 is for implementing a requirement spec number 1. And this requirement might be already linked with test cases, test case 1 and test case 2. Therefore, such test cases are actually available by the programmers as well as the joint QA floaters to create a subtask of the development task to make sure quality is not only implemented, but it's a repeatable, scalable process. So now I think I'm going to give some product demos. I'll be demoing DevSuite and focusing on how do you manage the requirement and what's the relation between requirement stories, how do you assign, populate the development task and the story to a agile iteration, and how do you assign a development to a non-agile project. And then I will also use DevTest to show you how do you do the testings within a development sprint, and as well as how do you do test release planning and test cycle management, and how do you perform auto testing. And I will show some reporting as well. I probably will quickly show you how DevSuite multi-site work, and I will show you quickly how to use MyDevSuite, and as well as how to use IdeaBook. So I might finish show you quickly on the IdeaBook and MyDevSuite first, and then as I demo the DevSuite application, I will cover reporting as well, and I will cover how multi-site works. So then after the product demo, I will show you our development roadmap for 2013 and 2014, and then give you a summary of this webinar. So now I'm going to go to show you first how IdeaBook can be used for user guide and online help. So if you notice, as we have released DevSuite, internally we have changed all of our user guide to be IdeaBook based, not only for the product of our DevSuite product line, but for our service-wide IT service management product line, as well as for our customer support focus and development integrated customer relationship management customized product. So if you take a quick look of, let's see, the DevSuite user guide, there are many user guides. One of them I want to show you is the DevSuite installation guide. So I will show you a DevSuite user guide, for example. So now this is the new DevCheck user guide. It contains 143. You can go to any sections, read the sections. If you notice, it looks and feels like a Word document. And not only that, you can click on each of the outline sections, and you can add online help request. The reason is, if in case you want to link this list frame this section to be connected with the online help request. As you see, this is online help request, this wiki online help for topic. This R task list, if you notice, requirement task list view. It's a keyword program inside our DevSuite application, but as you click on this, actually it's linked with an online help. If in case this online help topic does not exist, then you can easily go to the online help and click on any areas, and then by adding the online help request, in this case, if you remember, the online help request ID is our requirement list. By adding the things and submit it, now you are basically linking these areas with a possible online help request from your applications. Therefore, as you finish the user guide, you really also finish the online help as well. So in terms of how do you create, obviously you can close the things, you can view, maximize, and you can scroll, and you can search. So how does it work? Well, you simply use a Word document, create a Word document, define the outline headings, and checking into DevSuite knowledge project. And by creating an IdeaBook, now you can just add Word document chapter by chapter, and the IdeaBook will automatically analyze the outline heading of all the chapters and form a book, and without doing any work, just by using the Word document and defining the proper outline, you will have a user guide, and that can be used for online help purpose. So additionally, I think as I demo the product, I probably will demo a little bit how do you use the Word, because it is also related to using Word for managing requirements. So in terms of how MyDevSuite works, MyDevSuite works the following way. So you use your iPad, go to App Store of Apple's App Store or Google's Google Play. Or you can actually download the desktop version of MyDevSuite and defining the connection by adding a new one. Enter your server URL. The server is your DevSuite server. Now you are ready to log in to your iPad. And this application is a window application, but it really is iPad and Android tablet applications or Android phone applications. As you open the requirement project, you can open any requirement attachment. Then you can go to the next page. You can go back again. You can open also a development project of DevTrack. As of now, you will see all these development sprints, and you can see yourself or see all members, or you can select a member if you have the privilege and see all the tasks, and then you can click on a specific task and to see the time remain and time spent to modify the task, to edit the task, and then to see also the link requirement. And also, MyDevSuite allow you to view reporting, so you can see reports available and then open such a report. The cool thing about this is, since these reports are available to your iPad, once you viewed a report and such a report becomes available for you to view offline and online. And also, as you look at the requirement, one of the good benefits will be able to view any requirement document, and both online and offline. So in this case, you can view a document like this, and online and offline. So imagine, as a developer, you're looking your work assignment, and you start to doing the programming and being able to view the requirement document with a much more kind of a personal feel usage experience. I think it's a good plus. So now I'm going to spend my time providing you a demo on how do you use a DevSuite to do requirement management and to do agile project and non-agile project. And doing so, I will show you quickly of the multi-site and possibly show you a bit more of the IdeaBook too. So inside DevSuite, normally you'll be, as an agile team, I think you'll be going directly to the tracking views and just working simply on a development space. A development space really represents an agile project where inside one team or multiple teams are working by creating sub-releases. You need a sub-release, or you might not create sub-release.
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
The requirement, so the requirement becomes a tab available, and the requirement, since this development space is linked with the requirement space, now you can look at the requirement and start to see, okay, here is a requirement spec, be able to link online request, online help request with a predefined IdeaBook sections or help topic. So by dragging and drop into Sprint 2, now you're creating one more story to populate your sprint. As you create a story for the requirement spec 657, optionally you can create a task template. So multiple tasks could be created with predefined settings. So in this case, we're creating two tasks. We're creating two tasks for implementing the iPhone support and Android tablet support. And for each of the tasks, we're going to define maybe 6 hours, and it's going to worth 3 points. So once you click on OK, now you create both the stories as well as you have created 2 more tasks. And in case you are working with a more like a traditional development, then this requirement view becomes useful for you to more formally manage the requirement with workflow support. For example, any of the requirement, you can create a requirement and link the requirement with a Word document, or any of the document with the Idea player, it becomes one-click openable. You can open the document to view it as an idea, be able to perform searching, and be able to do navigations, especially when you maximize it. You will see opening a Word document to view by POA people, by programmer, any of the team member become very, very easy. And because of that, we are pushing for requirement management often can be really for its content can be managed by just using Word document. Obviously, you can also create an epic and then you can create a child spec by clicking on new and a link. You can create multiple child specs for an epic. I want to explain the relationship between requirement, story, task, and QA test event. So obviously, you can plan a development sprint by assigning requirement as a story and with its child task. As you implement the child task, for example, in this case, be able to analyze the Word document online headings and auto-generate the sections for your online help and the user guide. We might have already predefined the test cases for its requirement. In this case, as you can see, I have already created 2 test cases for this requirement. And obviously, you can create new test cases. So as you create a task to implement a story, often you're going to use the current status to enter the time spent and the time remain. And you can enter time spent with predefined time tracking categories, such as I'm spending 5 hours of development time, or you can just define this time spent to be a simple one-time freely editable field, and then you can also modify the time remains, so you can save it. So as you do this kind of updating your development task, time spent, and time remain, as you notice, there's one field, percentage finish, becomes a very simple field for you to drive. Not only you can drive the time remain, you can also see the percentage finish. If you have multiple development tasks, it will load up to show you the requirement spec number 2, the percentage finish from the multiple development tasks. And likewise, if you go to the requirement space, now you can see the load up of all the requirement for its percentage finish, as well as you can mouse over a folder to see the total time spent by all of your developers and the time remain and the total percentage finish of any of the requirement space. So go back to the tracking view. I will quickly explain how to use a QA test event to make sure the process of developing a development task has the quality consideration and effort built in. So as you can see, we're developing this feature, but this feature really has 2 predefined test cases which are linked with the requirement. By one click, creating one more QA testing event, basically now you're saying this is the testing procedure we want you to do. It's a simple testing procedure saying, why don't you create a Word document using the outline heading 1 to 5, and to make sure once you generate the user guide and the online help, such heading become automatically the content table, and the heading 1 become level 1. And if you look at different test cases, and you will see, likewise, if you use the heading level of 4 to 6, then the expected result really need to be the level 1 of the outline should be from the highest heading, in this case, the heading of 4. This way, you're defining the test cases to explain to the developer, we're really trying our best to create the online help based on the Word document format in a way of its very flexible as long as you have defined the Word document to a properly level correct. These two test cases show you what should be the behavior. So hopefully that helps you to make sure to accomplish the result of any development task, in this case, development task 181. Not only has the time spent, time remain, it has the driving indicator of percentage finish and time remain. It really has the link requirement document where the developer look at to understand what needs to be implemented to deliver, as well as the QA testing standard predefined. And the cool thing about this is now it also opens the possibility of test cases can be defined and improved not only by predefined by your QA team and the product owner, but can be by the programmer and the QA floaters who join the Agile team. Such test cases become useful as the testing libraries, I don't know how to, somebody called me, sorry for that. And such test cases become the testing library automatically available inside your dev test for you to perform test planning and test cycle. So in this case, using dev test, now you will see two applications, business applications and game test applications are defined with multiple test case templates, and such test case template represent your effort of defining, if you notice, be able to support existing program and be able to link such outline with online help requests. It has the test case procedures and the result, and such effort could be from as part of your requirement and such as part of your Agile development effort. And therefore, you can go to the task view and the planning view to create the test planning and the release quality plan, where you define how many tasks you want to perform. And you can also create multiple task cycle to allow your programmers to perform the task. So if you go to the task views, now you can change the state to be some of the testing that passed, save it, and go to another task. These are the tasks created. I'm testing this task, and for this one, I decide, I performed the task, but it failed. So as I click on failed, if you configure the settings right, then you can actually populate. For example, this task. If I make it failed and save it, if you pre-configure right, then it will populate defect submissions and let you submit the defect into the development space as a product backlog items, or sometimes it even allow you to submit a defect directly into a sprint. And DevTrack also now with DevSuite 9.2, it supports milestone. So if the traditional development now is presented with milestone, and while it works very much the similar ways, meaning you can still assign requirement into a development milestone and creating tasks, and be able to look at the requirement from one mouse click to see its content via the Idea player. But it allows you to define milestone which doesn't have a time bomb durations like the Agile sprint. We also have greatly improved the reporting views. So now from the report views, now you can see all the reports are actually could be defined as the global report, where you have any type report defined independent of your development space, development milestone, development sprint, or development sub-release folder, or you can actually create such a report for a development space. For example, the content sharing manager has the following report. And if you look at the beta sub-release, it has the burn down report, it has the distribution report, submit close trend report, velocity report across multiple sprints, velocity report within a development sprint. So if you look at the burn down report, now you see the burn down shows you on daily basis how the time remain goes down. You can modify its property to make the burn down report to be showing the velocity based on time remaining, or you can also do the sprints based on burn down or the velocity report. If you click on the sprint 2, the sprint report for, velocity report for sprint 2, now you see the number of tasks closed. And if you see this velocity report, the format is changed to be showing you the number of tasks accumulated closed, as well as the story points, how the story points are finished, and versus the distribution report. This report shows you the velocity report of how the sprint 1 finished 55 points with all these tasks currently closed. And there are some tasks, for some reasons, are not closed but finished with time remaining set to be 0. And therefore, you can see the average velocity is 4.23 per day for sprint 1 versus the sprint 2, we did pretty poorly. It's 1.23. Obviously, these are sample data. So you can also do velocity report across multiple sprints for the entire space where you have 4 sprints. And you can also change the property. Say, we want to show the average velocity rate. So this way, it shows you, some of the sprint did pretty good and some of the sprint are not so good. So I want to quickly, I have probably 5 more minutes. I want to quickly show you a few other features. One is the IdeaBook. The reason we pushed for IdeaBook is we want to claim that LM solutions, agile solutions, when you make the product releasable, it really include the user guide and the online help should be modified as well. So how can you easily modify a user document? Well, it's easy because it is a Word document. As you modify, open a Word document, and the Java control sometimes is tricky. Don't block this, and the Java security control is getting more and more demanding. So sometimes it's become tricky to use this Java control. However, this control is needed because this control lets you open a document easily and maintaining locally. So as you can see, if I modify the Word document, say I modify the outline section title, and I add content, it's just a Word document. It's going to be, as you check in, let's say I save this document, I close it, I lock this document, and not unlock. I check in, as soon as you check in, the server side actually is analyzing the new contents of the Word document, and it's going to regenerate the online help and user guide book. And if you want to add a new chapter, say I want to add a new chapter, I want to say what is new, and I'm going to select a document. I'm going to open a document from my existing document here. Maybe this is getting started with DevSuite. I'm not sure. Maybe this is a chapter. Maybe this is a chapter I want to check in. So I submit. So now this document gets checked in. Let me see. Now I have a what is new. So if I look at the document, I open the document again. I want to show you guys how the document looks like. This is a Word document. And inside the document, you can really actually embed, connect images with YouTube video, so that as you check in, actually it will be capable of generating the book. Let's view the book. It will capable of generating the book, like if you notice, getting started, properly generate the outline sections. Actually, if you have some embedded video, when you click on it, it will show the embedded video as part of the book as well. So that's, I want to show you how the IdeaBook works. And also, portfolio is a newly added, has a lot of improvement. So we'll be adding functions like, in case it's a traditional development mode, it's really agile project, for agile projects as well, in case you want to do planning, or at least you want to view how the agile team finish their task by looking at the start date, end date. You can do that, as well as you can go to the portfolio view and perform risk management, and also to see lots of reporting inside related to portfolio, where report can be generated by analyzing not only just the development project, but also your requirement project and testing project. So that's the portfolio. So now quickly, I want to go back to my PowerPoint to finish. So slideshow, hold on. Maybe this one. Okay, yeah. So I will go next to quickly discuss. So we have released 9.2, and we'll be releasing a patch release. The patch release could be May 15, or it will be before end of May. It will be do lots of bug fixing. We'll be actually improving the email notification for its performance, because we realize we can make the email notification performance much better, because it's done with our customized and service-wide product. And we're going to be improving the DevCheck task board views. And for MyDevSuite, we're going to support some sound and note annotations for IDEA, as well as IdeaBook can be viewed inside MyDevSuite. So you can just use an iPad to view user guide. For 9.3, it will be October this year. We're going to make DevSuite to be to improve the ease of use, to support inter-project copy, especially with custom-wise and service-wise. And for DevCheck, we will make the user interface fully definable, and we'll do more agile reporting. And we will encourage you ask questions, and also send us emails about your requests of what things important to you. So we'll consider our 9.3, 9.5 to cover our customers' requests. And then their plan, their PPM, their plan is going to be, we're going to support in multi-level planning at the requirement level versus task level. And we'll improve our multi-dashboard for reporting. And DevSuite multi-site will further improve the ease of deployment and maintenance. I have to say multi-site for DevSuite actually is very easy to maintain. And then already, and then DevSuite 9.2 a lot GUI improvement, HTML5 support, and multi-site for the enhancement. So it's 9:55, so I'm going to show you a few seconds about the multi-site. So actually, you can just visit our company's website and try multi-site. You will notice the multi-site from, this is the US site, this is the UK site, and this is the China site. So if you log out and try to re-log in, it's available from our company's website. You'll notice we have made a multi-site try available. Hopefully soon we'll be adding a site from India. So if you have team, in these countries, I think you'll be amazed what kind of performance improvement you could get. So finally, to summarize, obviously we have been working hard to make DevSuite to be an enterprise solution. From performance point of view, it's a multi-site enabled with all the ALM functions. And from kind of a functional point of view, we want to support a hybrid agile. It is not only for agile project, but also for non-agile. It has all the agile functions, but it is nicely done with requirement and quality integrated. And then kind of a, DevSuite with MyDevSuite, it support really all the user interface platform, web, Windows, and iPad, Android tablets. And MyDevSuite IdeaBook for ease of requirement management. So requirement can be formally managed with workflow, and for its content, Word is still really the best way. We tried hard to use Wiki to manage the requirement contents, but we are convinced Word is still the best way. So that's why we have the Word in combination of Idea Player for managing requirement, but requirement get quantified by specs, so it can be driving development and testing. So that will be the end of my presentation. Thank you so much. So now let's check if we have any questions. Renee, can you check question and read question for me?
Absolutely. We have several questions, and I just don't think we're going to have time for all of them today, Tieren. So maybe we can answer just a couple, and then we're happy to follow up with everyone individually. Okay. I also would like to remind everybody that today's webinar has been recorded, and we will send out a link to this recording so you can share with your teams or review again later. The first question
we really have many questions.
Yeah, there's very many questions.
So we'll try to do another 5 minutes, to answer some of the questions, because there are many questions.
So first of all, what type of training and implementation support is available?
Yeah, training support, number one, we have professional service. And number two, I am a founder of a methodology, SpecDD. So we'll be giving integrated requirement quality agile development trainings, both in the format of a web-based, one-day event and two-day event. And one question is, why do you use terms from just one iterative incremental delivery model, Scrum? There are many other development. And the reason is Scrum obviously is good. We like the term sprint, all iterations. However, DevSuite encourages that requirement management is important. So the relationship between story and the requirement spec is a story is actually an implementation copy of a spec. In other words, spec really sometimes need to create multiple stories for its implementation purpose. Once you use this model, you will see it's just more flexible.
So to follow up with that, they would ask, where can I learn more about Epic, Document, and Spec?
Yes. Also, one question is about, are the terms sprint and story customizable? Yes, the terms are actually customizable, but I think we strongly encourage the term to be used the DevSuite ways, because once you use it, I think you're going to find no matter what term you use, it's going to be always confusing because story is not a requirement. However, to many teams, story are the requirement. Do you believe that story can take care of the requirement? My belief is not, but it's definable.
Here's a very popular question that we've been asked a lot by our clients and customers lately. Has the client been reintroduced with this version, or is it still a web-based only?
Oh, yes. The Windows client is now formally supported. We have committed to support Windows client and web user interface and iPad and Android tablets. And in the future, iPad, Android tablets will be supporting email notifications. So in other words, as long as you have a personal device online or offline, you will see a lot of information available to you.
Related to this, or moving on, maybe just time for two more. It says you already have story points. Why do you need time spent remaining?
Yes. Okay. It's configurable. You can make the story points to be turned off or even time remain turned off. In terms of the support of both, some teams and I personally believe we should support both. Time remain to me represent the self-driving indicator, meaning time remain is about a programmer's estimate of how much time more before I will finish the task. It really represents a commitment and really represent a driving fulfillment commitment, so that if you estimate 2 days, you're going to do your best to make sure 2 days you can finish the task. Time points are really, it should not be really estimated by the programmer, meaning you should not say, I have a remaining points of 2. Well, some customer use. But points really represent a number that either shows how big this task or this story is, or sometimes it's connected with how much effort a programmer will take. But normally, you're not going to use the point to be programmer dependent, meaning a junior developer versus senior developer. Obviously, it's going to take different time remain to finish a task. But for the points, it really should be the same points, meaning points should be used for velocity report. It's showing for each team that how much work you are accomplishing each day, each sprint, in average, what is the velocity rate, while time remain really is an indicator help you to achieve self-driving team with a simple number, as well as the time, the percentage finish can be used for such a number as well.
Okay, and how about just one more question, and we will follow up individually with the questions. I apologize to the people we don't get to today, but the last question is, do you have to use separate projects for Agile and non-Agile tasks or incidents?
Yes and no. You can obviously create separate DevTrack project base. Project is already a misleading term, because inside a DevTrack project base, you can create multiple spaces. A space really represents a kind of a team working together or multiple teams working together to deliver a project. And such project could be, product development or a project development, or it represents the different product versions of a same product. So depending on your needs, obviously you can mix development space for agile and non-agile in the same project base. However, the workflow design might become kind of more complicated. So in this case, you might want to create multiple project base, some for a set of projects with the similar nature of workflow and the user interface, versus creating another project, DevChat project base for managing another one or set of project spaces with similar requirements for its workflow definition and for its user interface definition.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Tieren, for today's presentation. For more information about anything you saw today, log on to TechExcel.com. You can look to see the overview of 9.2, and you can also have links to see different 2-minute demos of different items that we're seeing today. And again, as I mentioned, we will send out a link to the recording of the webinar sometime next week.
Thank you all, and appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.